Hello folks, this is gonna be a big one. I've been very excited about this video coming out and it is finally publishing. This is my first on impressions with Minecraft with RTX. If you don't know what Minecraft with RTX is, this is a ray tracing, or as I found out, path tracing graphics engine that works with Minecraft Windows 10 at the moment. Hello, cat. This is made in partnership with NVIDIA. So obviously Minecraft the game, and NVIDIA is making the engine and sort of incorporating all of this into Minecraft. Now, RTX is a NVIDIA property, and that's really their label for their brand of ray tracing. So you do need to have an RTX compatible graphics card in order to run this. What does that mean? If you are into graphics cards at all, you know that specifically with GeForce and NVIDIA, they brand their graphics card in numbers. So you may know your 1060s, 1080s, 1080 Ti's, that sort of thing. Well, anything that starts with a 20, so a 2060, 2070, 2080, 2080 Ti, all of those will be RTX capable cards. Your computer may already have one of these type of cards installed in it if it's a newer computer, and if it's not, you would have to upgrade your graphics card in order to experience Minecraft with RTX. Obviously, the effect is stunning. The graphics in Minecraft, which have always been, pretty basic by default, I think is the polite way to say it, are completely overhauled with volumetric lighting, incredible light sources that'll completely bathe the room in all sorts of awesome light. Now, I do want to mention that this is a tech demo, and everything that we are seeing is a work in progress. We did see bugs, a few bugs. So my big question was obviously especially, I think this is the question that everyone in the community is asking. What is the difference between Minecraft with RTX and Minecraft shader packs? Shader packs have been available on Java for a long time, and they accomplish a lot of what seems to be appearing on the screen when you're running Minecraft with RTX. Depending on the shader, they include volumetric lighting, cool physical materials, bloom and sunlight rays, and all that sort of stuff. And obviously, it's doing all of this without the use of purchasing a brand new graphics card. So I asked this question to the team, and this is their exact response. It's basically the difference between rasterization, whereas you have a number of triangles and you effectively blot them on the screen, rasterize them, pixel by pixel. This pixel belongs to that triangle. Let's fetch a texture, and then let's run a small program to figure out what color this pixel should be. That's a shader effectively running there. This one, while it has similarities, we are actually tracing actual kind of mathematical rays of light rather than doing rasterization. So the method is different. Now, there is similarities where you do actually do calculation on the intersection of a ray and a surface to figure out how light actually interacts with that surface. In that sense, material shading still exists in this one. Now, the one thing we're doing here is this is physically based. Materials have kind of physical properties like smoothness and metalness, and we have an analytical model of how that's going to look with intersecting with light. So that's the difference. And then I got distracted looking at this little bit of diamond here with the reflections. But another way to put it is, in normal games, you almost have to have layers on layers of textures in order to get the look of what ray tracing is doing automatically. But also with their material models, they can bounce light off of one thing onto another thing, onto another thing. And so you get these materials that all sort of mesh up together, which is another big reason that this ray tracing, path tracing thing is amazing. Now, I've been going back between ray tracing and path tracing, and that's because I asked the team there, what is the correct way to describe it? Is it ray tracing or is it path tracing? And they told me that this is path tracing. Path tracing is a type of ray tracing, but technically this engine is path tracing. The next question that I had was, it seems like there's two demos here where there's one with more normal Minecraft textures and one with high quality HD textures. And I wanted to know if in the future, there could possibly be basically material packs. Just like how we have resource packs at the moment that change the textures and the sounds. Well, could you get a material pack, or maybe it's just part of a resource pack, where ice looks this way in the default version of Minecraft RTX, but someone else could come in and make ice generate in a different fashion to have a different type of bounce, different type of refraction, that sort of thing, to really change up how something looks. And the answer was they don't know how it's going to be delivered, but they hope that modding will become available in the future. So what that modding will technically look like, we are not sure, but that is on the wish list. Another question I had is, like, how incredible really is this? That's a weird way to put it, but basically, this level of whole engine ray tracing, is this really being used on any other type of game? And the answer is that other games incorporate ray tracing for specific effects, so maybe shadows or reflections, but how Minecraft is incorporating this into the game, where literally everything is run from ray tracing, has really only been done in one other game, which is the Quake 2 demo. And right now, the Quake 2 demo is still just like how Minecraft RTX is still in demo mode. That is also still in a demo mode. So really, there isn't a published game that uses whole engine ray tracing for basically the entire engine, like how we're seeing it implemented into Minecraft yet. I do have to say that we agreed when just in conversation that Minecraft really lends itself to this type of game engine because everything is so dynamic. You can place a block, you pick up a block, and the world is constantly changing. So a light system or an engine that incorporates sort of baking in graphics where, you know, you could run a whole model and kind of say, okay, this is just what every space of this linear model would look like, this linear level would look like, and we can sort of bake that into the engine. We don't have to mess around too much with graphics. That works in a linear style game. But with Minecraft, where it's a literally open world, you can edit anything. This type of holistic engine that incorporates path tracing is really, really effective because you don't know what the level is going to look like. It's not linear at all. And so the engine can just make what it should whenever you update the level. One thing that I kept doing throughout the demo was turning on and off the feature to see what the path tracing was doing. And so I've made a little montage for you of some of the big differences in each area. Now, it should be said that when path tracing is turned off, that also smooth lighting and the graphics are kind of set a little bit low. So some of these, it really does look like fast graphics are turned on, and that's just because their own engine is remaking all of these textures. So it's not a perfect comparison because you are running on a lower default setting of Minecraft. I think where Minecraft with RTX really shines is in the little surprises that you don't realize you're looking at until you think about it just a bit more. Like the fact that water has refraction, so that makes it the blocks under water seem a little bit closer because the light is refracting out of the water. One of my favorite little pieces of this demo was what's called a camera obscura. And this, you could make a camera obscura yourself using like a shoebox and a pinhole. And what's happening here is light from the other side of this wall is filtering through that little hole, and it is reflecting the image onto a blank canvas here. And it's upside down because as light is bouncing around, it's going to bounce to the opposite side of where it is, especially if there's just a little diaphragm that it's going through. So this little camera obscura trick is completely natural. It happens just because this is such an incredible, path tracing model that you can have this just happen naturally. Also, when just playing around with some of their light sources, you can, using RGB, you can get different colors to appear. And so you can create white, you can create yellow, you can create green. It's a really, really, really cool thing just to kind of play around with the light blocks almost as paint to mix new colors. Now, one thing that I did notice, going back to this is a work in progress, is that the tech demo does have to accumulate light over time a little bit. So sometimes there is a little bit of a weird lag between when a light source is shut off and when you see it sort of fade out of existence in the game world. And once again, that's because the game is accumulating info over time, and so that it could simulate like infinite amount of bounces, but there is a delay as the game does that kind of in front of your eyes. I played around with a lot of stuff in this demo, and I gotta say that I am impressed. I've said it so many times, but this is a work in progress. There still isn't a completely open world for us to play in yet. I do know that there were limits, it sounded like, on this world as well. So we still have a bit to go before we see a fully fledged demo where, you know, you put it in the hands of customers and let's see what they do with it sort of situation. There are some improvements that I could obviously see that they could make pretty quickly. Just an example is adding more types of blocks with the physical properties, and then also making players visible in reflections. That would be a really cool improvement as well, because you just look at it and you're like a vampire. You don't exist. Your hand does exist if you have that out, but your actual whole body and player skin, that does not show up in reflections yet. Obviously, Minecraft RTX is very impressive. I hear the criticisms in the community that you need a whole new graphics card in order to run this engine. And we've already had something that looks very similar with shader packs. Although I hope that during this video, I have explained that there is a big difference between path tracing and shader packs. There are just some effects that you naturally get with path tracing that just are almost impossible with shader packs. I really hope that you found this video informative and fun. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a big ol' thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. Big thanks to NVIDIA for sending me out to y'all's headquarters to check out this demo and giving me that opportunity. I really appreciate it. See you on the next video. Bye!